in the band room, I know you can hear me. That's fantastic, great, thank you. Well look, good morning. My name's Steve Summers and I'm calling you, you've probably worked out where I'm calling you from, but I'm calling from London in the United Kingdom. That's good, give me a thumbs up I hope. Great, you can still hear me. Let me explain who I am first and then I'll explain what I want to say to you. As I say, I'm called Steve Summers and I am the chairman of the London Mayors Association, which represents all the mayors of the London boroughs in the United Kingdom. I'm also a former Lord Mayor of the City of Westminster, and crucially for this morning, I am patron of an event that we have here in London called the London New Year's Day Parade and Festival. Now, that event, I have to say, I'm totally biased, but that event is absolutely... Oh, we're still okay? You can still hear me, good. The London New Year's Day Parade is absolutely huge in our city calendar. It's one of the highlights of our year. It has about 8,000 performers in the parade, just to give you a feel for how big the event is. It goes on for about 3.5 hours. Funnily enough, it's on the 1st of January, or you probably worked that out with it being the New Year's Day Parade. As I say, about 8,500 performers. We usually have about 200,000 people on the streets of London watching the parade. And it's broadcast on television stations all around the world. We've obviously just had a parade a few days ago, and we estimate it was about 350 million people watched it around the world. So it's pretty big. For those of you that know London, it is right in the centre of London. The route of the parade goes past some of the most iconic, well-known, photographed buildings in the world. It starts on Piccadilly, outside the famous Ritz Hotel. It goes along Piccadilly, past things like the Royal Academy, Fortnum and Mason's famous shop here in London. It goes through Piccadilly Circus, which you've probably seen on the television, the famous advertising signs, the lights, it's a bit like Times Square in New York. It then goes down Regent Street and it goes into Trafalgar Square, down Whitehall, past famous buildings like 10 Downing Street, where our Prime Minister lives. It goes past the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, you must have heard and seen Big Ben, the London Eye, and it finally finishes, it's, as I say, 2.5 miles, in Parliament Square, just beside Westminster Abbey, which I'm sure a lot of you saw on the television for Her Majesty the late Queen's funeral a couple of months ago. So it is absolutely huge in London. Because we're a world city, and it's so big. And by the way, have any of you guys heard of a parade called Macy's Day Parade? I think you might have even performed in Macy's Day. Of course, we're in competition. We're a world city too, just like New York is. In terms of all the stats, we are actually bigger than Macy's Day Parade. Just to give you again a feel for how big it is and the reach. But obviously, I'm biased. You need to do your own research on that. I would say that. We have people from all over the world participating in the parade. As I say, we want, people often ask me, how do we find them? Why do we choose who performs in the parade? Well, we want to have international people because we're a world city in London. But most importantly, we choose people to participate in the parade because they're good, because they're brilliant, because of how good they are, because this is such a massive deal for London and the United Kingdom that we only choose the very best. It would be a bit embarrassing for London with all those people watching if we didn't have very good people in it. So we only choose the best people. Now, this is where it starts to get hopefully exciting for you. Is this exciting so far? I hope it is. This is hopefully where it starts to get important and exciting for you guys. As a parade, we have talent scouts who go all over the world, and particularly the United States of America, because whenever we poll the people who watch the parade, we always ask them, what's your favourite part of the parade, what you really like? And absolutely every single event we do, and this parade has been running for about 40 years now, every time we poll people who watch the parade, they always come back and say one of their favourite things in the parade are the American marching bands. So we are always on the lookout for American marching bands who are good. And as I say, we have talent scouts who go all around the United States looking for the best. And they have told me and my fellow patrons that Londonderry are one of the best. So I'm here today, this morning, to talk to you all the way from London to say that Londonderry High School Marching Band have been selected by the London New Year's Day Parade to come to London and participate in the London New Year's Day Parade 2024. The applause and the thumbs up that you do fancy. Well, look, that's absolutely fantastic news. I'm delighted. But just to emphasise, we're doing this because of your reputation. That is it. I've heard how amazing you are. I've done my research. I've seen you've been in big parades. So our job is to make sure, one, that you come, and two, that you have the most amazing time in London. Because when you come to London, which I'm hoping you all are, when you come to London, by the way, and when I say 2024, you think, oh my goodness, that seems like ages away, because we've just come into 2023. It's not. It's less than 12 months. So if you do this, if you come to participate in December this year, you will travel to London. I will be there to welcome you, and you will travel to London and you will spend a week in London. So not only will you perform in the parade, which will be an amazing experience for you, we will put on a package for you and we'll make you love London. So some of the things you'll be doing while you're here in London, your 7 days here, you'll be visiting places like Windsor Castle, where Her Majesty the Queen lived. You'll be going to places like Oxford. You'll be going to see some of the most historical buildings in the world. My personal favourite is Westminster Abbey. We have so much history in London. Every single building in London is historical. Westminster Abbey has been there for over 1,000 years. It's where all the kings and queens of England get married, have their coronation, have their funerals. It's where famous people like Charles Dickens, Charles Darwin, Isaac Newton, they're all buried there. You will be going there. You'll be living in the centre of London. You'll become Londoners for a week. You'll be living in the centre of London. You'll be going to the West End. In the West End, we have over 75 theatres in the West End alone. We have the Royal Opera House. We have the National Gallery. We have some of the most famous art galleries, museums in the world. And they are all free. And you will be invited to go in there and experience them as part of this deal. You guys are going to be coming to London. But there is one thing before, I'm sure you have lots of questions, and I'm more than happy to take any questions that you might have this morning. But just to reiterate, we want you to come. This parade is only amazing because we have amazing people in it. And you have been selected because you are amazing. And I would love in March to come to the United States of America, come to your school. I'll even come in that band room, and I'm going to formally give you an invitation to come to London. Now, I promise you, London is a wonderful place. All of the reasons I've told you, London is wonderful. But there is one thing that makes London really, really special. And it's our history. Literally over thousands and thousands of years, the United Kingdom and London have welcomed the world to our city and our country. We are one of the most tolerant, diverse, open and welcoming cities in the world. And what that means for you is that when you come to London, you're going to get the warmest welcome you have ever had. And the most important thing, I think I need to say before I hand back over, is thank you in advance, because I really want you to come. I want you to make our parade better. But I know it doesn't just happen, right? I know it takes a lot of work. I know it takes a lot of time. a lot of fundraising, a lot of times when you don't fancy going to practice and you just prefer to play on the Xbox. I do that too. But I promise you, if you do this, if you come to London, if you participate in this parade, I give you one promise. It will change your life forever. Come to London, we will give you the best experience you've ever had, and it will change your life forever. I think you should give yourselves a round of applause because you're amazing.
By the reaction, it's a definite yes. We will be there. Thank you. Bye-bye.